Hey there, hi, welcome to the channel. I am Garrett and I am so excited because in today's video we are talking about common lighting design mistakes and how to fix them, because I truly believe that lighting is the backbone of great design, and the first thing we have to talk about is not rushing yourself. Do not make rash decisions when it comes to selecting anything in your home, and really take your time. I know design can be expensive and you get this sense that it has to happen overnight, everything has to be perfect right away, and it's absolutely not the truth. Your home is ever evolving and changing, and so you want to give it the time to do that and take your time making decisions, because when you start rushing yourself, that's when you start making mistakes that end up costing you more later and actually making your home uncomfortable, and then you just don't want to be there, and I completely understand that. So there is a lot you can do with lighting, and you can really take your time and source great lighting from a multitude of places. Thrift stores have great lighting. Home Goods has great lamps. Overstock has amazing light fixtures at a great deal. You can get good lighting off of Amazon. There's a ton of it in my Amazon storefront that you should check out. But take your time when it comes to making those decisions, because when you rush is when you start to make mistakes. Another common design mistake I see people make that drives me crazy because it affects the design of your home and the comfort of it is actually the temperature of lighting. Now, the temperature of lighting is measured in what are called kelvins, and those are in the thousands. So the perfect lighting, in my opinion, for a lamp or a non-overhead fixture is 2700. That's usually the lowest you can get, and it's very, very warm. And the reason I like that is because warm lighting makes a space look warm. It makes a space look moodier, a little darker, but you can layer in more lighting to get the brightness you need. It also has a sense of softness and comfort and aesthetic. It makes your home just look more interesting and look better. There are plenty of people that look better at night, so why wouldn't your home? Now, when it comes to an overhead light fixture, you can go a little bit brighter on it depending on the space. If it's a kitchen, for example, that recessed lighting needs to be a little bit brighter, not quite as warm. So that's where you can go 3,500 to 4,000 in the temperature range, because it's going to be a lot cooler but still neutral. It's not gonna be blue, and that's what we don't wanna see. Blue lighting is insane. And we all know someone, there's a house in your neighborhood that you drive by at night and they've got the blue lights on and it looks like, you know, an operating room, and it's like, honey, what procedure's going on here? I don't like that, and I don't think it's comfortable. I don't think you want to enjoy a space that has that sort of lighting. I don't think you can enjoy a space that has that sort of lighting. Also, the temperature of lighting doesn't have anything to do with the actual temperature. So if you live somewhere that's hot, having cool tone lighting is not going to make it cooler. It basically refers to the color of the light. We want warm tone lighting, not cool toned lighting, but we want the lights to be cool, so just go for LED. Now, for an overhead fixture like, you know, a chandelier or something, that's where you can step down a little bit. So for lamps and everything, 2,700. For those recessed lights, we could go 35 to 4,000. So for that overhead fixture, let's look for a like 3,000-ish kelvins for that light. So it has a good warm tone, but it's a little bit brighter. It can handle that, and I think it's lovely. There are plenty of things you can do in your home, like different sources of lighting, and each room might need something a little bit different. In your garage, you may say, hey, I actually do need that cool tone lighting. A kitchen, a bathroom, those are places that should have much brighter lighting. That way we can see a little bit more of what we're doing, and all of the lamps and everything you have in your home, the actual hanging fixtures, they should be a bit warmer, because that's the light we're using when we're enjoying a space, when we're relaxing, we're entertaining. We want it to be soft and moody, and that's what makes it really aesthetic. That's the key to achieve great design in your home. No matter what your style is, warm tone lighting and having more of it will immediately make it feel more expensive, more luxurious, more layered, and beautiful. Now, speaking of making your home beautiful, sometimes you get stuck and you just can't make those decisions, those difficult ones, and you need a sounding board, and I am here for you. I can answer all of your design questions, any of them you need, and I actually have a sale going on right now of $50 off of a 30, 60, or 90-minute design consultation with me. You can book that using the link in the description box down below or going to intro.co, and the sale has actually been extended because you all have been demanding it. Okay, have a few dates left. I've expanded them, added a little bit more, so be sure you head down there and check it out until November 29th at midnight. That's when the sale ends, so be sure you book it now. And for further details, be sure you check out the description box down below, and to book that call, head to intro.co/GarrettLeChic. The next major lighting mistake I see people make in their homes that I think you can correct and make a big statement is actually the size of the fixture. I don't like a little overhead light fixture. I like something big that really fills a space, that gives it presence, because I think that's architectural. I think it's impactful. I think it's interesting. But there is something we have to discuss, that a big light fixture usually has more lights. And so that often gives you way more lighting than you need in a space, but we don't want to have a little light fixture because it makes all of the other furniture feel really big and overwhelming, and will actually make your home look small. So there is a certain proportion we have to achieve. Usually there's something underneath of a light fixture, like your dining room chandelier. Well, we want the chandelier to be at maximum, like half of the width of the table. So the shortest length, we want the light fixture to take up half of that. We don't want it to extend over, but we want it to have a certain width to it. Something a little oversized will give you stature and grandeur. I also think it should be hung a little bit closer to the ceiling. I like to have at least like a 6.5 foot clearance under any light fixture. I just think it provides a sense of openness in a space. So a large light fixture that's hung a little closer to the ceiling is always really nice. A great oversized light fixture is also going to draw the eye up and make your ceilings look taller, even if they're not, and I love that. Now, that's not a one-part mistake. The second part of that, the next thing we have to talk about, is that you don't have any dimmer switches. When you have an oversized light fixture, when it's the appropriate size for a space, I find that it has too much lighting, way too much lighting, and really overwhelms a space. So you have to have a dimmer on it. You have to have a dimmer switch on it. Always have an electrician out to install them, and not every dimmer switch works with the type of light bulbs you have. So get a professional in to answer those questions for you. But a dimmer switch makes a difference, because I also need to have versatility in lighting in a space, because, you know, if I'm cleaning my living room, all right, I need to see everything. So I want that full blast, all of the lights on, show me everything. Same thing when I'm filming here in the studio. I need a lot of lighting to balance the camera out and everything. So having a really powerful overhead fixture is good for certain times. But when I'm in my living room and I'm hanging out, I'm relaxing, I have a fire going, the TV is on, we're, you know, cuddled up on the sofa, I don't need that much lighting. I don't want that. So I turn all of the lamps on, but then I have an overhead fixture that's turned off. Makes no sense. I put it to its lowest dim setting. That feels beautiful. It feels luxurious. It feels welcoming, inviting, and warm, and it's not overwhelming. Especially if you have an exposed bulb on like a crystal chandelier, it has to be on a dimmer switch. If you go to a luxury restaurant, for example, they're not gonna have a big overhead fixture that's not turned on. They're not going to. They're gonna have it set to its lowest dim setting, so it provides atmosphere, so it creates a moody vibe and feeling in the space that is comfortable to be in and enjoy. If you want that luxury feeling in your space, it's not about looking luxurious and looking expensive, it's about feeling luxurious, and the way you enjoy that, put a dimmer switch on that overhead fixture and turn it down. Whether it's in your dining room over the table or in your living room while you're watching TV, dimmer switches make the world of difference in the aesthetic, the feeling, the luxury sense in your space, and they also make a space feel warm and inviting, especially when combined with those warm tone lights. Oh, love that for you. Speaking of something else that I'd love for you, that would be me and this channel, and hitting subscribe and joining us. Become a part of our GarrettLeChic family. Hit that subscribe button. We are on our journey to 100,000 subscribers, and if you subscribe now, you could call yourself an OG, and I also love that for you, and I love that for me too. I also love that for Arden, who is sleeping here. He's listening to everything, and he absolutely agrees, not only with all of these tips and pieces of advice, but that you should subscribe. And what was that, Arden? He also says you should give this video a like. Don't you? Don't you? You like it? You like it, or you want to go back to sleep? You want to go back to your nap? After he and Cornelius wear themselves out playing all morning, he always has his nap at the time I'm filming. He loves to lay here on the sofa. And it just so happens to be I sit here and film. That's the only reason he's laying with me at the moment. But he's a very sleepy boy at the moment, aren't you? Aren't you? Okay, well, we're gonna let him go back to his nap and get back to the video. Now, a part of having a dimmer switch on your light also comes with certain types of light. And the type of lighting we don't always wanna see that isn't the most comfortable is when we have an exposed light bulb. Having an exposed light bulb is going to be harsh. No matter what you do to it, no matter the style of fixture or your personal style, no matter the temperature of lighting, if we can see an exposed bulb, the lighting will be harsh. So that's what we need a dimmer for. But there are certain instances where you can't have a dimmer. So for that big oversized light fixture that has all of those bulbs on it, put a dimmer switch on it and it will be comfortable when it's turned down. And when it's turned all the way up, we just won't look directly at it because it's like staring into the sun. But on something like a lamp on a side table, we do not want to see a light bulb. An exposed light bulb is gonna ruin the entire vibe. I don't wanna look under the shade, I don't wanna turn to the side and then see a light bulb in my face. It's not inviting, it's not welcoming, it's not comfortable. It's going to give you like an ocular migraine, and that's just not the vibe. It's not gonna make you comfortable. It's going to make you extremely uncomfortable having an exposed bulb. And that comes down to the style and size of light fixtures you're bringing into your home. For an overhead fixture, typically I'm looking for something that casts light upward, that has a dome-like feature or style to it where light is not projected downwards because that's when we're gonna see it. Or something that has a certain opaqueness to it where we can't see the bulb within it, we just see the glow of it and it cascades light onto the ceiling. Beautiful, lovely, wonderful. I appreciate that so much. For a sconce, you could find something similar. Right now, alabaster sconces are very, very popular, and that's beautiful because once again, it has a certain opaqueness to it where the light comes through it, but it gives a glow, a beautiful softness that feels very luxurious. But you could also get a traditional style sconce with a shade on it. Nothing wrong with that because we don't see the light bulb. Now, when it comes to lamps, this is where we have to get a little bit deeper and talk seriously because the size of lamp matters depending on the placement of it. I often see people use really tall linear lamps because they tend to be very accessible and somewhat affordable as lights all throughout their home, but you don't use a light like that anywhere other than on an entry table or a buffet, because when we're sitting a little lower, when we're on a sofa, when we're laying in bed, and we look to the side, I don't want to see a bulb. A light bulb is going to ruin everything, and I'm staring directly into it, not comfortable for me or anyone in the space. So lighting on the side of a sofa or on the side of a bed, it needs to be a little smaller, a little lower. And that doesn't mean it has to be a reduced scale. It just means maybe it needs a bigger shade. In my bedroom, for example, my favorite lamps of all time, the shade starts 14 inches off of the nightstand surface, and it extends all the way up to about 27 inches. It's a really good size light fixture. It's substantial, it feels chunky, it really brings great scale to the space, but I can't see the light bulb when I'm laying in bed. And that also comes in part with the furniture placement. We want an end table on a sofa to be a little lower. I want it to sit between the top of the arm and the top of the seat. And that way the lamp is a little reduced. We get the light, the softness from it, but we don't have to look at the bulb. And the same thing goes for your nightstands. I want the surface of the nightstand to be level with the top of the mattress. That way your lamp is positioned in a place where if you were to sit in bed, you could read a book comfortably, and when you're laying down, you can reach under the shade to turn off the lamp. That's perfect. These are really specific sizes that require taking measurements. And that's a part of not rushing into things and making rash decisions and seeing something like, oh, that's pretty, that's nice, it's a color that works, get it, and it's perfect. No, absolutely not. Sit there in bed and maybe if you have lamps already, pull them over, bring them on your nightstand and try them out. Say like, how does this feel? Okay, well, it's a little tall. I can see the bulb. That's a little too much. And then start taking measurements. And you can find the perfect size light for you in your space that will provide the perfect lighting for every activity you have going on, and will also give you the benefit of not seeing the bulb and not being uncomfortable in your space. Be sure you're not looking at lamps that are too tall or nightstands that are too tall for your bed that are going to create this obstacle for you. And I think that also comes with layering lighting and using multiple pieces of it, and you can really fine tune the way you use the space and the lighting requirements you have in that space. And that's really the next thing we have to talk about. The next major mistake I see people make is that you don't have enough lighting. You can never have enough lamp lighting in a space because it's soft, it's beautiful, it's wonderful, and having more lighting is the easiest way to make your home look more luxurious and more relaxing so you can actually enjoy it and luxuriate in your time there. If you're off of work right now, you're laying on the bed, you're lounging, you're reading a book, that's luxury to me. That's luxuriating, and we need great lighting to do that. And so using multiple sources is how you're going to achieve that. You can have an overhead fixture, fine, but put a lamp in every corner and use different lamps. Use a small table lamp over here and a reading light there. I love rechargeable lamps. I love rechargeable lamps, like in a kitchen, for example. I want an overhead fixture. Maybe we even have recessed lighting. We might do under cabinet lighting. Throw a rechargeable lamp on the counter. It's great. It's amazing because that's almost like a night light. And then, you know, if we're doing a little something at night, we can turn the under cabinet lights on and the overhead can be on a dimmer, and it's really soft and moody and vibey and aesthetic, but it's enjoyable. And it really enhances all of the design you've put into the space. Same thing goes for a living room. If you have a floated living room, put a rechargeable lamp on a little table. Put it on your coffee table to add a little touch of softness and warm lighting. Once again, referencing back to like a luxury restaurant, a beautiful restaurant is always going to have great lighting, and usually there is a light on your table, not only so you can see the menu because the place is probably a little too dark, but because it provides atmosphere for that specific space, and you can achieve that in your home with great lighting. Another thing you can do is use battery operated or rechargeable candles, like taper candles or pillar candles. If you have a fireplace that's non-functional, fill it with candles. So I think there's a lot of things you can do to add lighting into your space in multiple ways and add more of it. Don't underestimate the power of a light fixture overhead, and don't do a set of light fixtures either. That's an issue because it reduces the character in your space, and just because something works in the dining room doesn't mean it's going to work in the living room. So you can't necessarily have the same light fixture absolutely everywhere. Look for things that really fit the needs of the space, and then address, are you willing to dust and take care of that and clean it? Because maybe you're not. Maybe you want that exposed bulb. So now we're gonna need to get a dimmer switch on there. Really give it some thought and be meticulous in your lighting, because you can have a house that is completely decorated, designed on a budget. Everything could be affordable. Everything could be thrifted. But if you have great lighting, it's going to look beautiful and luxurious. Well, there you have it, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I know you're probably looking for more because obviously, be sure you check out this video right over here, all about making the smaller home look luxurious, beautiful, and expensive. No matter the size of it, actually, there's some great tips. So I will see you over there.